on Curiosity Stream. He allows them their riches
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
in exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimate.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Believe it or not, genitalia kind of figures into the story here. A nurse spent 28 days in a COVID coma. She's fighting for her life. She was saved. After medics, they tried an experimental treatment. Double jabbed asthmatic mother of two, Monica Almady, 37 years old, admitted to the hospital in November after testing positive for coronavirus in October. Moved to intensive care a week later before doctors put her into an induced coma on November the 16th. They were just 3 days away from pulling her ventilator and turning it off when her condition started to improve, and she woke up on December the 14th. When she woke up, doctors at Lincoln County Hospital revealed how they had gotten her to revive herself. They had given her a large dose of Viagra as part of an experimental treatment regimen that she agreed to before going into the coma.
So it's medically induced.
Medically induced coma.
All right, okay.
If we have some experimental stuff, are we able to try it to try to get you out of this thing if all things go wrong? She said yes.
Quick side question then. If it's a medically induced coma, and one of the things they say in this article, I did not read all the way through, was that she was 3 days away from being taken off the ventilator. Mm-hmm. So does that mean if I agree to go into a medically induced coma, and maybe it depends on what your sickness is, and I get COVID, whatever, that I agree to how long? You know, like, hey, we'll do a medically induced coma.
I guess so.
Because I'm signing a real long-term contract if that's the case. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew she was 3 days away. Typically, when you take someone off the ventilator, you're talking to the family, and they have to kind of make a quote-unquote snap judgment. They're saying, look, we already knew in 3 days we're taking her off of this, but she agreed to go under. So, I mean, like, if they're saying, okay, how long do you want to do this for? I'm like, what is the longest plan you've got, man?
If blood flow,
that's what I want.
If blood flow and circulation have anything to do with the situation, those drugs are going to help. Viagra wasn't. They didn't say like let's make an erectile dysfunction drug. They were trying to make
hypertension or something. Yeah,
exactly. And what was the
side effect?
There it is. Look at that. Bob Dole's ready to go. You know, so they're like, hey, this is a big. And it just so for an example, people who have like deep vein thrombosis or anything where you need to get your oxygen levels up, open up your veins, get your blood flowing, and all those different things. It kind of makes sense that this would work. And, I mean, in a weird way, since her oxygen levels were so low.
She also has an erection.
And she's also in a coma. So the drug, as you know, enables greater blood flow to all areas of the body by relaxing the walls of blood vessels. And she says it caused her condition to improve in just a week, and the level of oxygen she needed to drop by half as it opened up her airways. Some people complain about headaches
when they take Viagra, right?
And the reason is because there's so much blood that's also flowing into your head that normally does not. You know what I mean? It might affect you in different places, in different ways.
Sometimes your head gets red.
Yeah, well, it gets hot because it's pumping full of blood. Who would? So, ladies,
I'm going to be fine.
If you're ever on a date with your guy and you look across from him and he's all red and flushed and stuff like that, just know he popped one before you guys went out. He's probably thinking to himself, maybe tonight's the night. He told me it was the Viagra that woke me up from the coma. I laughed and thought he was joking, but he said, no, really. We just gave you a large dose of Viagra. And she woke up on Christmas Day. They said it was a Christmas miracle. Doctors decided the treatment, which had previously been suggested as a way to treat COVID patients, as it dilates the blood vessels, opens up the airwaves and all that stuff. So she was allowed to go home.
Who would have thunk it?
3 days later, after that treatment. In a coma for almost a month.
Again, I want to know how this medically induced coma timeline works. I agree to go under and they're going to put me in a coma, but we already know that 3 days from now are going to pull you off. So, like, is it check what you'd like, 6 to 8 weeks, a year to 18 months? Because again,
probably what you can afford, dude. I mean, when I think about our medical system, now this happened in England, so that's not really.
So that's not a thing.
They just must have their own protocol as far as like, this is what we can do. This is how long we will do it.
Yeah, I guess if it's on the house, I'll let you guys decide, right?
But here in the United States, they're like, how much money you got?
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like,
you got 18 hours.
Like, we decided.
I feel like they would charge you if it's not like a serious medical, but I think if it's a real medical condition, you need Viagra, they should cover it.
Yeah, but in her case, yeah, right? I mean, because it's like, obviously she does not have a penis, and it got her out of a coma.
Yeah.
I wonder then, so...
Oh, it's
but I'm filing for insurance, okay? And insurance reaches out to me and says, look, we're not going to cover the Viagra. And then I have to explain, dude, they did not give me the Viagra for ED. They gave it to me because I was in a coma. And yes, I have an erection even still, but as it turns out, this thing saved my life.
Sure.
Will you cover it now?
Maybe, but if not, then, the family's got to come up with the ultimate decision as far as how much longer do we leave this person on life support, especially if it's draining the family's funds and everything else and people are paying as much as they can. And I really think it just depends on A, how much money you have, and B, the person. So, for an example,
I think it's the person.
It's the person.
If I like you,
it's the person.
I'll take out a loan.
Yes. If
it's my one cousin in Texas, like...
Right. If it's your siblings, Ted, you know what I mean? You would probably have a better idea of which one, all right, let's pour more money in this way, you know what I mean? Eventually, you're just like, the other, might be the other one in my case, just pull the plug. You know what I mean? Like, I'll save you, but I'm just going to, you got less time.
But see, that's when it's problematic, is if you got two people under and you got to make a choice.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you know, with the family's funds are getting drained.
Eeny, miny, mo.
Uncle Dave.
I think part of it,
Uncle Dave might be dead. But Aunt Diana, she's going to live.
Yeah, I think part of it, too, is what's the long-term prognosis?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if it's like, all right, we can keep Ted alive for another year, but even if he pulls out of it, he's not going to be able to talk or this or that. Like,
Yeah, but then you have to ask yourself, would Ted be cool if he's alive, he's functioning, other than he's not going to be able to talk, or maybe his right arm is numb, or would Ted say, end it? Because I get the feeling...
Well, not for a numb right arm.
That's what I'm saying. I think you need to make a checklist with your family. Like, look, it's not just about keeping me on or pulling me off. And you understand long-term prognosis, like you said, but here's my checklist of things that I'll be cool with. Yeah. Like, he would never be okay with that. You might be surprised when you're faced with death, what you're cool with.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't want my legs amputated. I absolutely do not. But if the doctor says, hey, man, you got gangrene in both legs, I'll take my legs.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Put that on the list, because if the last thing you said to me, Ted, is, man, I don't know what I could do without my legs, but I'd kill him.
You got to wonder if Viagra would work for that, too, to oxidate. Just, as far as your circulation and all those things. Where,
if it's circulatory involved, maybe.
I mean, it seems to me those areas are dying, so they're not getting enough blood and oxygen.
We still have to take your legs, but that erection's going to last for 18 months.
Wait a minute. I can just keep this thing?
Right.
I could have had a coat on this. Even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Hank. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hola.
So anyways, I was a cop for over 23 years, and I used to work transportation. This particular day, it was a light day. It was my last load of females. Well, it was from point A to point B, from Justice Court to the jail, literally 500 feet across. But the van only fit 15, and there were 16 females. I said, they'll squeeze in there. So I get in there in the cell, and I see the 15 females in one corner, and then one female in the other corner. And I tell the females, hey, everybody get in the van. We're all getting in there. And a black female, with her attitude, she's like, we ain't getting in that van with that B. I said, oh, no, she's probably a child molester or something like that. I said, why? She's like, go get her. So I walked towards her, like, within 10 feet, I start barfing. Turns out that she had a Kotex in her vagina that was in there for 4 months. And I had to take it to the hospital to have the doctor take it out, and the horrendous smell. I can't even describe it, but...
Please don't. Even if you could.
Gang unit. I smell some horrible things, dead animals, dead people. Vagina and feet, worst smell ever.
Vagina and feet?
Feet? Really?
Yeah, there was another story where transient, we picked him up, and he didn't want to take off his shoes and socks. We got to check him for drugs and weapons. and we had to force him to take his socks off, so we were pulling his socks down, and maggots started falling out of the wound. So the doctor said if those maggots didn't start eating on his wound, he would have got gangrene, would have lost his foot. So the maggots helped out.
Wow.
But the smell was by far horrendous. Vagina and feet are the horrendous smells.
Okay. Sometimes when I pull like a piece of lint out of the corner of my big toe, like toenail, or
Right.
I don't know, maybe part of a sweater out of my belly button, you know what I mean? I'll go like, oh, whoa, that's a bit much. But I've never had anything that just really offended me on my own body that much.
Not that, but there's
I mean, that's
difference.
extreme.
Yeah.
That is extreme, but I do feel, again, it's like back to the poop stain on your own toilet when you know it's yours. Like, you can deal with your own stink even when it's really bad. Somehow just knowing it's you. Like, put it this way. If you sneeze in your hand and there's a booger, not snot, but an actual booger in your hand, because it's yours, you're kind of okay. If Ted sneezed in my hand, same booger, same amount of snot, like, it's different.
It's completely disgusting.
It's much, much different.
High school football practice locker room. That is one of the smelliest places you'll ever walk into because you don't wash your pads. You don't wash your practice jersey. You don't wash your practice pants. You maybe have 2-3 pairs of socks in there for a couple weeks.
Right.
Just keep putting them on. You practice in the rain. Nothing dries out. Everything, absolutely, from the bag that you put your clothes in, you walk into that locker room. I can't even believe that people take showers in there.
Yeah,
it
doesn't
seems
help.
counterproductive. You just walk up and get just dusted in fecal matter and crap smell.
I
even
think
when
the
you get
two
in the shower.
worst smells I've had were cleaning a grease trap at an old restaurant I worked at. It was just, but there were like 3 of us in on it, and it is, I don't know that it had ever been cleaned before, or if it had, not in the time that I'd worked there, and just out of nowhere, chef's like, hey man, tonight we're staying late, we got to clean the grease trap. I'm like, yeah, all right, man. No, not all right. It's not, you stay on top. Look, this would be my advice. Either clean it once a week, or just don't ever clean it. Because once you let that thing go, you don't want to experience. And the one time we had, it was 5 pounds of crab meat in a bucket. And I don't know what went wrong because we had just ordered it. It was already bad. The smell of rancid crab meat, it's unlike, like I've smelled old chicken, old seafood, all the stuff. There's something about crab meat, man. It is.
What's what they eat? They eat crab.
Right. They eat crab, and basically they have gone back to that. But we opened the top of this, and we're in a hurry, man. I mean, the business is open. It was unreal. Like 2 guys puked instantly. It was bad. It was like finding a body in the trunk of a car on the side of the highway in Arizona, man.
High school wrestling room has a very unique smell, too.
Yeah.
Just because of the sweat, and then you got to wipe down the mats every day. It's just, it's a lot.
And look, it's even different than college. You mature a little bit through those years. But when you're going through puberty and you're between the ages of 13 years old, 16, 17 years old, you stink. I mean, you stink
smell.
even if you're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're not exercising, whatever, like, your body's just going through changes, and changes. I mean, thank God my kid's out of town now, but I mean, I hugged her a couple times. She's like 15, 16 years old. I'm like, baby, you gotta use deodorant. You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, I do use deodorant. I'm like, you need better deodorant. You need a new deodorant. You know what I mean?
My kids are hitting that now, man.
Like that, all that natural stuff, forget about it. You know what I mean?
Well, you're going to have a tough one. Is, your son has friends and stuff, and they like to party at your house. Like summertime, teenage boys not wearing socks. They're all popping off their shoes.
His feet don't stink yet. I got some pit yesterday. He's going to bed. And we just given him showers, right? And so last night, going to bed, come over to give me a hug. I didn't say anything, but like, dude, hug me. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Here we go.
Like, oh my, right. And there's nothing I can do. The next 5 years, it's only going to get worse.
But then by the time you're like 18, 19 years old, that kind of starts to settle down a little bit. So like, those locker rooms aren't as bad the older you get. And I'm telling you, man, that high school, anything. God, it just reeks.
When your parents tell you,
and parents are bitching about it in the car.
Keep your shoes outside.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And there's something about adult, like, you're right. I think, unfortunately, it's got to be hormones or kids just going through it.
It's
but
all
you're right. It just stinks more. But like as adults, like you're shocked when you walk by somebody and you're like, oh my God, that's body odor.
Like you're an adult now.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just dirty. You don't have an excuse for this, man.
We don't even sweat here. Even if it was sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Clayton. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey guys.
Hola.
Hola. Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So me and my wife were making tacos. And I was cutting up all the vegetables, getting everything ready. We got the meat ready. And these are cheap tacos. I mean, Lowry seasoning, salt, whatever. So I So I cut up all the vegetables, and then things start getting a little hot and heavy.
They always do when making tacos.
Oh yeah. And so we went into the bedroom while the meat was simmering.
Is that a euphemism, or are you still talking about cooking? Hey, baby, my meat's simmering.
No, well, everything's simmering. So my digits got in the honey pot, and I forgot that I cut jalapenos.
Uh-huh.
And she goes, "What the beep did you give me?"
It was burning.
She thought you gave her BD. You're cheating on me.
Yeah. It was the jalapenos.
Jalapenos are, that's.
I've been there.
Yep,
Same thing. Working in restaurants. Long story short, ran to the bathroom, came back, and you just get this unpleasant sensation, but it's kind of a gradual buildup. So it's not like you want to tell the people around you, anyone else feel like their penis is on fire? So I'm kind of keeping it to myself, right? But after like 2 minutes, I'm like, this is getting unbearable, and I cannot figure it out. And I'm thinking the same thing that dude's wife is, like, do I have venereal disease? And then I realized, like, oh, Jesus, man, you were just cutting jalapenos. So then I announced it to my coworkers, like, hey, man, I just cut jalapenos, went to the bathroom. They're kind of laughing. I'm like, no, this sucks. I don't know what to do. Milk is the answer. So I had to go into the walk-in, just like, do not walk into the walk-in for a couple of minutes. Yeah, I grabbed a glass, poured a glass of milk, and I'm sitting there with my D and a glass of milk. And, like, it's not a moment of pride, but it is so soothing, you don't care. Like, seriously, you dip it in milk. God, it sounds so dumb, but, like, my penis is in a glass of milk and a refrigerator walk, and I'm just like, oh, thank God. Oh, God.
I can't believe you guys had milk.
Oh, God.
I mean, I know for cooking, but I'm saying, like...
Yeah, you always have milk.
I just don't see that much anymore. Like, people go into a restaurant, like, oh, I'll take a milk.
It's only, you're right.
You know,
no one orders
milk.
Because this was not a restaurant you brought kids
That wasn't
to, you know
uncommon
what I mean?
on the East Coast to see somebody drinking a glass of milk, but I haven't seen it since I've been out here.
This was like a five-star restaurant.
I love milk, but I'm still...
No, what I mean is, like, you're right. Nobody goes to a five-star restaurant. I would like the cinnamon glazed lamb, and if I could have a tall glass of 2%. Like, it doesn't happen.
No.
I mean, you might have it in the bar for a White Russian.
True.
But
this was in our walk-in.
Typically, it's half and half.
Right.
Or sometimes
you're right.
heavy whipping cream.
That would have been better. If I had heavy whipping cream, it would have been
Oh, yeah.
Oh, soothe the burn.
Buttermilk makes sense.
Right.
There's a lot of milks that make sense in the kitchen.
Laugh all you want, Mike. You light your D on fire because you were chopping peppers. I promise you. You will run to the store, buy milk, sit in your car in the parking lot and dip it in.
Miles has a point, though. I'm running through my mind now. I'm trying to think of the last time I was at a bar and somebody was like,
Can I have a milk?
Can I have some milk?
My stomach's upset.
Right.
Anything. Whatever. I'd like, I mean, okay, you're in a Denny's, you're eating breakfast, they have milk probably, right?
Sure.
That kind of a place, that's
But
going to
do
have
you
milk.
order milk? Even if you're at Denny's eating breakfast, I would get
Chocolate
orange
milk.
juice, maybe chocolate milk, but I'm not just going to order. The last time someone ordered milk at a restaurant is because my kids were like 3.
Could you
and
even
they're
get,
past that.
Can you get milk at McDonald's? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't.
They do. They
Yeah.
assume it's for a child, but yes, they do have milk.
Okay.
But you're right. You're right. Breakfast places, because I will order chocolate milk as an adult at a breakfast place.
Because that's an adult thing to do.
Yeah, you get chocolate milk.
Well, yeah, sometimes. That seemed that weird when I was thinking about it.
Did it have a bendy straw?
No, but I mean, it's like, hey, we're really going for it today. We're out here having a
I
big
love
breakfast.
chocolate milk, man.
Let's get a tall glass of chocolate
That's what I'm
milk.
saying.
I would order chocolate milk.
My brain does not process that is possible.
But if you see it on the menu and you'd be like, you know what?
I never look
I'm getting chocolate
I never
milk.
look at non-alcoholic drinks on a menu.
Right. That is the
Sorry.
problem.
I'll take a water.
I mean, if I'm getting chocolate milk with my breakfast, more than likely it's a breakfast place that doesn't serve booze.
Oh, for sure. Right? I mean,
Yeah. Because you're right. If I go to brunch, I'm getting a mimosa or something.
if you got booze, I'm getting a drink with booze. Period.
Just don't see people, going to Daniel's, sit at the bar.
You get a glass of milk.
Give me a ribeye, big tall glass of milk. Even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Let me get a Chivas Regal on the rocks with milk.
What? Let me get that milk chaser.
You don't have milk?
Someone here says every single restaurant I've worked at has milk. Someone else says, hey, man, if you get that the pepper burn on the genitals, mayonnaise. I'd rather do milk.
Mayonnaise seems like
I'm looking for a reason to put my junk in mayonnaise.
Why do you need a reason?
What about ranch?
Well, because I like to eat it.
I bet it'd be better with ranch.
Don't do it at your home.
Ranch dressing would probably be the best then. Buttermilk ranch dressing.
What are the other spices in ranch? What gives it its flavor? Because that might be your undoing. Is that the ranch? It's spicy.
It's not spicy.
You know what? We should do an experiment.
Buttermilk ranch. I'm telling you, not the kind with the packet with the milk. Buttermilk, because buttermilk they use a lot for, like, they used to use for poison ivy.
Sure.
They used to use for skin irritations, things like that. So I'm telling you, buttermilk ranch, that would be the thing to slather yourself.
No, you're right. My grandmother used to if you got a bee sting, she would take a piece of bread, dip it in milk, and then slap that on you.
My grandmother would take a piece of bread, dip it in milk, eat it, and be like, well, it looks like that hurts.
Well, my grandma would then later rip it off and turn it into French toast. It was a whole process.
The leftover bread.
Wait a minute. She was just stinging us with bees.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
By the way, or not by the way, but to start, Hank's vaginas and feet.
Yes.
My car still smells from it, just thinking about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Killing me. So, back in the 90s, me and a buddy, we head down to Puerto Vallarta, hit the pharmacy on the way out of town, and pick up some of the over-the-counter stuff they have. One of the little pickup goodies was a Viagra. Get back up into the States, go to a party, and hanging out with some buddies and a girl that I used to kind of play around with on the side, and said, hey, come out to my car. You want to take half of this? She goes, what is it? I said, it's a Viagra. She says, well, what's it do? I'm a girl. I said, I don't know. I said, but just take half. I'll take half. If you start feeling funny, let me know, and we'll just head back to your place. She said, all right. About an hour or so go by. She comes and grabs me. Come to the bathroom. She's hauling me to the bathroom, closes the door. She says, what did you give me? She turns around. Her eyes are bloodshot red.
Oh, yeah.
It's looking for your wiener.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't find her wiener. So I took her home, and everything was fine. But it's pretty funny trying to figure out why her eyes are bloodshot.
It's the Viagra, but you don't have a penis, so...
It's got to go someplace.
Sorry about that.
Right.
Did you have sex with the bloodshot-eyed woman?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing turns me on, like I said, of bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
By the way, talking about milk and dinner.
I like Michael Jordan yellow.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Look at those golden eyes. It says, my other half drinks a gallon of milk every day. He don't care what restaurant it is he'll be in. He'll order 2 or 3 glasses of milk with his dinner. Wow. That had to be weird on the first date.
Yeah.
Can we get a bottle of wine? Sure, baby. Let me also get a glass of milk.
I just think I'm with some of the restaurants I go to.
We should start
even just milk.
Just start asking.
Milk with dinner. Period.
But let's start.
We're not getting into that
anywhere.
Just to see if they have milk
at home.
Hey man, do you have? Can I get a glass of milk?
I told you we did it all the time with pasta.
Milk growing up.
Yeah,
I'm just saying in my adult life, it doesn't seem to happen anymore. I don't see it.
No,
it happened all the time when I was growing up. I mean, there's always milk, but now it just seems like I never seen.
Did your kids drink milk with their dinners?
Not so much. No,
one of my kids did. Yeah, but then again, she's weird.
But it almost seems like the Pop-Tart years or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not really an adult thing. But anyway, even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them. We study them. We hope the big one never comes. Don't look up. It's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
9.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
Men's Room Original Ale, tasty and delicious. We brought the OG back for you. It's available now in 6-packs and 12-pack bottles and on draft at your favorite bars and restaurants.
I enjoyed quite a bit over the holiday break.
It's not at your favorite bar, you say? Ask for it by name. Men's Room Original Ale from Elysian Brewing Company. And keep in mind, a portion of the net proceeds benefit our friends at the 3 local Fisher Houses.
Yes.
So you're doing some good and giving back when you taste that delicious beer. It is available now. There is a partial list of some of the locations at KISW.com.
Yes.
So hopefully you can find it in your neighborhood. All right, a question. If it wasn't sexual, even if it wasn't, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Clark. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, guys. So, I'm the plumber that had the cougar issue.
Yes.
You might recall. Anyway, and I was cracking up. I was wondering if Thrill would try to give the cook that he was working with some jalapeno flavored chocolate milk after that. But anyway,
I'm not going to lie to you. I would have, but they knew why I was in there. But look, I'm not past it. I absolutely believe you just drank my penis milk.
That would have been hilarious. Anyway, so I get divorced, kind of bummed out about it and all that, right? And so my doctor says, hey, I'm going to give you some Prozac. That's going to help you with all that. And he goes, and also, by the way, I understand you have a new girl you want to try to impress. You might try this new product called Viagra. And I did not share it with her, so she did not get eyes and all that. I just kept it to myself. Well, anyway, after the weekend begins, it's kind of a 0 to 0 story, but I'll make it brief. So the weekend begins, I take it, and I am very popular for a while. But then I realize that I'm not able to, even when I want to finish the program, if you know what I mean, on my end. And so she goes from being very impressed to being very not impressed. And so anyway, throughout the weekend, she was a real trooper, and, I may have done permanent damage. I don't know. Anyway, so the next week I get a hold of my doctor and say, hey, doctor, this is a big problem. I'm in trouble here. Anyway, and he starts laughing, and that was not the reaction I expected. Apparently, 1 out of 1,000 men that take Prozac are unable to finish the deal. He neglected to tell me that when he gave me Viagra at the same time.
So it was the Prozac.
It was the Prozac that did not allow, but having the Viagra with the intent of not
for the only intent that Viagra has,
Right. It was a bad it was a great combination for a few hours, but after an entire weekend, it wasn't a great combination anyway, and all of that. So anyway, that was that.
I wonder if the doctor doesn't tell people that, because if you do tell someone that, if it becomes psychosomatic, right? 1 of the 1,000 guys, you know what I mean? Like, look, if that's going to be the case, they'll come back and tell me. Then you tell them, okay, look, man, you're 1 in 1,000. This is what happened. If I tell you this in advance, especially when it comes to completion, right? If this gets in your head at that time, it might not have anything to do with the Prozac. It might just be in your head.
Yeah.
I would not tell you either if I were the doctor.
It's like a placebo with anything.
Right. Like, I'm not going to tell you this. If you come back and tell me, then I'll tell you. But otherwise, just go have fun.
Even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Tony. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hola.
So, first-time caller, 35-year listener, and this story goes back probably to around the first year of listening to this station. I'm working at an old Italian restaurant in downtown Seattle, probably before you boys were out west, called a Bruzi's. And I worked in the kitchen, and I was required at the end of the shift to fill all the chili flake shakers on each table. So you'd go in the back room where we also grated cheese and grab this big box of chili flakes, and you'd use one hand as the funnel, and the other hand you had the cup that you used the flakes and poured them in. So I'd done this one particular day, and when I was done, I went in the bathroom and went to the bathroom, and I was about 3/4 of the way done, and it became obvious that I made a big mistake.
It does not take long. That's the nice thing about chilies and peppers. it's a fairly quick reminder. Wash your hands.
Yeah, and it's typically the seeds and the oils.
Yeah, that's what does it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so you're talking about milk or half and half or heavy cream. All I could do was run to the little hand sink right there and just start dousing myself. And I left the bathroom and went out, and of course, the waiter, he said to me, "What the hell happened in there? You're all wet." And of course, I had to tell him, and then it's embarrassing times two.
You live and you learn, man. I mean,
I wasn't that embarrassed. Once I came to terms with what it was, once I realized,
there's a sense of relief because you realize that they're looking for the cause.
Right, but the thing is, my coworkers are the ones who gave me the remedy. So once I realized, like, it's not just, hey, I feel like my D is on fire. It's like, oh, guys, hey, the oil from the jalapenos is making this sensation. Like, if I had not said that, I would not have thought of milk. I really wouldn't have. You know what I mean? And so I'm glad. Like, dude, milk. Like, thank you, guys. I'm glad I brought this up. Thank you for the relief. But they did watch me dump it down the sink.
Same thing down in your stomach.
What do you mean?
I mean, as far as hot food goes, milk will neutralize.
Milk is the thing.
It's a little bit better.
But I don't think I knew about milk helping with spicy stuff till they started having, like, more food shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Where people were eating spicy stuff, and it was like...
Then they chug a glass of milk just to try.
Because for like everybody else, I would always just drink water.
Same thing, and sometimes it makes it worse because the oil sits on top of the water, spreads out, and it's other affected areas. So, I'm glad I said. I'm not proud, but I am glad that I said something.
Even if it wasn't sexual, how does your genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jacob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. All right, so. It was like 10 years ago. I was like 19 or something, and I'm taking this girl back to my house after a night of partying. We were supposed to hook up the night before, but we just passed out. Whatever. So she's the one driving. I'm living in a camper out in my mom's backyard, like one of the pop-up ones. That's already all bad. And then we start getting to it. Whatever. I go downstairs and hook homegirl up. And that's when I am faced with the only way I can describe it is her womanhood trying to escape in the shape of like a bird beak or something. I don't know. It freaks me out. Like somebody said it might have been like an extended clitoris. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, well, look.
But did it ruin the moment? Were you like, oh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say I went from standing at attention to floppy nose real quick.
You can't be the first guy.
I fight through. Look, everybody's shaped differently. Everybody's got different stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So,
and
but you're young, so you don't know that at the time.
Yeah, I'm open to stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like she didn't give me no warning or nothing, so I didn't know what to do.
I mean,
well, it's hard. How are you going to give a warning? Like, by the way, my genitals look a little different than most.
Right, exactly.
That's the warning. You might be surprised.
Yes, exactly.
It's like a box of Cracker Jacks. There's a surprise in there.
I didn't know what to do. I just went and made her French toast and sent her on her way. I never talked to her again.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Was she good? I mean, like, were you attracted to her?
Yeah, I mean, it was. We had only been like, talking for like a week or something, and then things got to that point, and I just didn't know what to do with it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you lose attention, then whatever. Yeah, I mean, if you don't because there's someone for everyone, and I've met people. I'm like, that is someone for someone else, and I'm just looking at their face. Like I get it. If it turns you off, there's nothing you can do about it. Like. I have fought through many things, but if it turns me off, like, then the game's over. I can't do anything about it. If my penis is like, look, you can do what you want, but I'm out.
Even if it's just their dog staring at you from the side of the bed.
Like, I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever it is, if you lose attention, it's not coming back. Like, the time ran out, the game's over, you know what I mean? I had a jumper set up.
There's other stuff you can do.
I know, but once you lose attention is the problem, right?
Have you ever spent the night in your girlfriend's parents' home and maybe she still has the same room that she did growing up?
Sure.
And then you look over and there's a wall full of dolls or whatever the thing is.
Right.
And you're just like, you grew up in this room? Like, this seems weird to me, you know?
See, I'd fight through that.
Like, well, it just depends, like you said. Whatever it is, whatever that trigger is.
Right.
I'm looking
but if you lose it.
Especially if they're porcelain dolls. Looking like, who buys those? You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking all these different things. And, like, did you collect these?
See, nothing on the outside bugs. Well, a dog staring at me.
No.
That bugs me.
Right.
Because it's like, this is a living, breathing creature, and I feel like I can read his mind. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
And he's not staring at us. He's staring at me, even though we are right next to each other.
And I also realized we just took like 7 stuffed animals off the bed and put them in the corner before we went to bed. I'm like, this is weird. I'm sorry. It's just weird. You know?
I guess sure. Everybody has their lines. That one never bugged me.
But stuffed animals are weird in China.
It's the room they grew up in, so of course it has weird stuffed animals.
I never would think that would be the line. You know what I mean? Until I was in the situation.
And then you realize,
situationally, I'm looking around, I'm just like,
I have a line here.
Like, is that like your 3rd grade school picture up there? Like, what is...
I guess I've been lucky enough to have opportunities with some attractive women, and sometimes there's things that are different on a body. But I'm just like, she's naked at this point. We're doing something.
Yeah, that does. Like, that would not
right?
be... That would not... I don't think be the thing to deter me. I'm saying that now, but I'd also
we're just getting on this guy. He's out.
No,
we're in.
I'd almost say the same thing about the room you grew up in. Like, I could fight through that and all that stuff, and then you get in there and there's something that's just very non-adult about that, almost to the point where it's a little weird.
I can deal with stuffed animals.
Parents,
but if you have like your 3rd grade picture, like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, you know,
that. Stuffed animals, whatever.
Right, I'm looking at you.
But I'm looking at you.
That is not you. And that's a porcelain doll.
Right.
And there's another porcelain doll, and there's a pink teddy bear over there. This is just weird.
It doesn't bug me. Like, I don't care.
I would say the same thing, and then I got into the battle. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh man, it was a mental battle.
I mean, I think now. At 41?
Okay.
Yes. Like now, like, why are you still living it?
Because now this speaks to something different.
And why are we having sex at your parents' house?
Yeah,
right. But like, 20s.
Yeah.
That stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or any more, but early 30s. But yeah, now I'd be like, come on.
Right. They didn't change this. They didn't make it a guest room. And even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
I wouldn't have sex in the room I grew up in now, which would be a first.
Why? Did you just want to christen it one time?
No.
What, is it still the same as it was?
No.
Is it the computer room?
Yes.
So you don't want to go in there with a black light?
Yeah. Good. Like literally, if I go back east,
your dad tainted your opportunity to have sex in your own bedroom.
Yeah. If I spend the night at his house, I sleep in I guess what used to be like my sister's room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even sleep in the room I grew up in.
Yeah, where's the computer? Okay, that's where I'm not sleeping.
Ooh. Dude, not only that, it's in his computer room. And I look, I'm bad about stuff. You know what his computer chair is?
Oh no.
It's just a white plastic chair. Like the ones you have outside in the summer.
Right. Well, he's just there to do a purpose.
Maybe you should order him a nice chair so when he masturbates, you know what I mean? He's comfortable, like the gaming chair that Steve got.
Exactly.
Oh, trust me.
Got a footrest.
Yeah. He's on enough meds. That thing hasn't worked in years. He'll let you know.
Oh, good.
He'll let you know. Even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Yeah, Mike. I'll say it again. He'll let you know.
This thing hasn't worked in years. I didn't know I have a computer now. That's sort of my subscription.
Yeah.
You got to have a computer when you do your off-bet horse race betting.
All right. Yeah.
Off track.
That's not the worst.
Hello, Dom. Welcome to the men's room.
Thank you. Caca.
Hola.
So when I was pretty fortunate having a girlfriend in high school whose parents were multi-millionaire nudist partiers that were that loved to travel the world, go places. They go to hedonism all the time, go to all these nude beaches. But when he was extremely, it was her stepdad. Her real dad was in California, but he was extremely intimidating guy. He was about 6'5", 250, jet black hair, long beard. He worshipped the sun. He was always naked, always naked. And so about the 3rd time I met him, he pulled me aside, and he knew that we were having sex, and he made me a deal that if I got her on the pill, he would give me this book called ESO, which stands for Extended Sexual Orgasm. So he told me if we're going to be doing it, we might as well do it right.
That's definitely a stepdad versus biological.
That's a weird conversation, I bet.
Yeah.
I would have read the book front to back.
Took him up on the offer.
I bet you did.
That was, just the start to the next 4 or 5 years. So we traveled with them all over. We went to, Club Med. They never took us to hedonism, but they took us to Wreck Beach in Canada. So I was 16 years old, naked, with my girlfriend and her parents in Canada.
You didn't miss anything in hedonism.
Really? No.
Well, he would bring back all their friends from there, and we would have to leave for the weekend. We'd go pick them up at the airport. All their friends, Buffy and, Muffin.
Buffy and Chet.
Buffy and Muffin, yeah.
But, so the only time he did ever put clothes on is he had these jeans. He was extremely well-endowed man, but he, you know how you have, like, the toucan ring in the back of your pants?
The toucan ring.
Like with the wear mark, you can see with the outline of it, from sitting down all the time.
Oh, your toucan.
Toucan. Yeah.
Yeah, we got that. Okay.
From the Petridge Farm sausage and the mushroom head.
I'm going to start bleaching my pants a little bit like that, just to make other people wow, look at that. Be like, yeah, that's right.
He stained his pants.
Wow.
I'm going to start doing that.
I can see the outline.
Yeah. I'll do it on the left side, inner thigh, and just bleach down about 8 inches.
Even if it wasn't sexual, how does genitalia figure into the story? 206-421-RON.
Hello, Dominic. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I'm sure you guys are familiar with Snapchat.
Yeah.
And you can set your pictures to be 1 second long. And in high school, all our friends used to send D-pics to each other.
That's the time to do it, yeah.
Yeah. But I had sent one with 1 second, and it got screenshot. And I thought my life was over. So for the next 3 months, my friend was sending it to all of our friends, and I had to it took a lot to do, but I had to sneak into his house and go on his computer and delete it.
Were you the only person that he screenshotted, or did he get everybody?
I think he was collecting them.
Was it a decent picture of you?
It was a very unflattering picture.
Okay, all right.
Just all unshaven and flaccid.
Yeah, it had twig and berries, the beehole, and my face in it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So you're all
I can guess the picture.
Get it in.
Yeah.
Were you doing a tuck?
What?
Did you do the tuck?
I was using the bathroom, so it was all out.
I didn't know if you did the bend over tuck from the back.
If you had said that one to me, I'd have screenshotted that too. Yeah, that's
is that a pig in a blanket? What is that?
Just the menu item. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's pretty. I'm it's just a D-pic. How bad could it be? Oh, that bad. Okay, fair enough.
Still to come, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream, he allows them their riches
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
in exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimate.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy, an obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.